You know, I never played a bard before. During this campaign I'm playing in, um, it's a different uh, Rise of, not Rise of Tiamat, Tyranny of Dragons. We're in Horde of the Dragon Queen, and it's about almost over. It's not the one that I just recently showed with the Outback Mage on the channel. This was more of a casual one, but I wanted to talk about it because it was a really crazy game. It basically involved a bard, but it wasn't just a regular bard. It was a particular bard I made. I didn't want to play the typical joke where, strum the guitar and throw insults and fuck everything that has legs and something. I wanted to play him differently. And when I joined the group, they were looking for a player to fill in a role, and most of the offensive roles were taken up. We had our tank, we had our kind of half-caster offensive person, and we had kind of our stealthy fighter. Actually, don't even remember, even though I just finished a game with them, what their actual classes are, especially the stealthy fighter, because it wasn't really apparent. They always played it like they weren't a rogue, but I think they were a fighter. Yeah, they were a fighter because they have second wind. Okay, now I remember. But they were playing in them like a rogue. So I joined at, I believe, 5th level. We were about halfway through no, I don't think we were halfway through. I think we were about a couple chapters in. I think chapter 3 at least. And I had asked the DM, like, hey, what classes does the party need? And one of them came to mind was a bard. And then I asked, hey, what races can I be? And we kind of agreed, because some races in, Volos can be broken. But I kind of narrowed it down to, I didn't want to be a tiefling, which I almost became one. I'm like, you know what? Well, it's dragon themed. Does anyone speak draconic? No, not really. Why? Can I be a dragonborn? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. And it worked out pretty well. One rule I gave myself for the DM was I wasn't going to use my breath weapon. It wouldn't be fair to the players for me to have that breath weapon, because, let's be honest, it's not a broken ability, but it was an ability that would kind of stick out like a sore thumb. So I concocted a plan with what I wanted to do with this character, and the character became Dimitri Callastar, which was a performing actor slash kind of like street hustler kind of a character. He was a part of a festival caravan in, I guess, Green Nest. That's where I think that the DM wanted to put me, because that was right after the first chapter. So, and then we were in the second one, I think, with not the lodge at the very end of the book, but the one right in the middle, which I really don't want to break up. Do I have to break out the book, guys? Okay, yeah, it would have to be in chapter 2. That's what I can figure out from that. Or was it? Because I don't know. They could still be in the first chapter. No, I don't see. Because we didn't get to the hatchery until a week later. So we were jumping between, I guess, like an inn and a lodge type area. And we were trying to help people that were like on a road. We were kind of going in and out of places. So when I started playing with them, we had a goblin barbarian who was chaotic evil to the point that really, it was like twisting a knife in your side. And especially a lot of the encounters where we could bullshit our way through, and the DM was allowing us to bullshit our way through, would go tits up quickly. And it'd just fall apart because the goblin would immediately just stab. Which, in the hatchery, become very dangerous because of what had happened, and we felt so underpowered. Especially the last game we just did, towards the end of the book, we were fighting a dragon, and we didn't really want to fight it, but I wasn't there when we get there. He immediately just runs up and smacks the dragon. Now we're fighting a dragon. Any which way, so we're going to people's houses and trying to help them from the cultists that are kind of bribing them for money, I think, or so. They were just holding them hostage. And I didn't really have like a voice for the character. I tried having a personality, which was like, yes, do these. But after a while, it's like, just say yes. It was just, never mind, just drop it, just be me, because half the time I was just like saying sentences and just, I can't go ye. What do you mean by ye? No, I'm not doing that. Mm-mm. So, the idea was, I was trying to be Dimitri from, like, Slide Cooper. Just because, like, yeah, everybody to school. Like, try to act, like, suave and all that. My skills as a bard, though, comparative-wise, were probably the dumbest spells I had picked, because the spells I picked were beyond useful, I guess would be the word. I picked minor and major image and illusion to trick people, because I had a high sleight of hand, and I figured looking this way while I'm doing something else. However, what was Vicious Mockery? Yeah, you have that as a bard. Mage Hand was always useful because it's a utility. Bane, I used at the end, but it didn't really help. It only just gave a debuff, which is fine. It worked a little, but I can't say it helped. But a lot of the spells I had, I'm not gonna just rattle all of them off, but they were more utility than offensive defensive. Like, I did have like Healing Word just in case, but we also had magic items as well. I had a crown, or a little gem, that would boost my charisma a bit more, so my charisma was nearly maxed, or beyond maxed. I had a Wand of Magic Missile, and I had a Cloak of Glamour that could make me look fashionable, because why wouldn't I? But I also tried to use like the disguise kits, which happened on further down the road. I played him more like a spy. Like, I played him more of a deceptive spy who had high in persuasion, high in performance, and high in deception. And it worked into our favor for like the narrative. It really played up the whole spy espionage kind of a thing, which you would be kind of hesitant to having a Dragonborn in a dragon infested game which deals with Tiamat. But I went with that angle because it was something unique, I felt, I guess. Is that what I want to say? Because the players were okay with it. Like, a dragon that wants to take on a dragon? That seems interesting. Let's have a dragon a part of the party. And it was fun playing them, but like the group I was playing with, it was just super difficult because we were just wanting to roleplay, and it just, a lot of the times the good role-playing times we had were getting sabotaged by the barbarian. So I first thing I wanted to do in the game, and it was my own personal goal, was to be a kind of have my own carnival, or just be like a ringmaster, kind of have my own business, so that when we take a break, like downtime wise, that we can actually do stuff in the city, kind of deal. This was one of the my personal ideas of what I wanted to do, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna need money, I'm gonna need workers, and I'm gonna need a place to go. So while I was adventuring, well, that was the hook, was I was going to go adventuring with these people because of what happened at Green Nest, and I was looking for business and the thrill of adventure to get profit. But money wasn't really high up on my list when I was adventuring. It was more just trying to pick up some skilled trades and earn a little bit of gold on the side. Not really high up, but I mean, like, hey, if I had enough money, I would probably do it. So we get to the town, or the village house area. I don't know what to say right there, but there's somebody's property, and they had a garden. And I was pulling vegetables from the garden and asking them, "Can I make soup?" And instead of saying, "Can I make soup?" I'm like, soup, because I was trying to be a little French, because Dimitri was French in Sly Cooper. So what ended up happening was we killed the cultists. We went to like a motel, hotel kind of lodge. We killed 2 different types of cultists there, which got us to be very suspicious. Still holding on to the accent a little bit, but we had oh shit, I forgot. The artificer was our half-caster. He had a deck of many things for the campaign, and the fighter had the deck of illusion. And if you haven't already caught on, we had magical items given to us. Not game-breaking ones. And I know someone's about to comment after I just said that hey, deck of many things is game-breaking. The DM removed certain cards, so it wasn't game-breaking. So it was more or less like you had the 11 good cards, but then you had like the mediocre bad cards where you had a chance of survival. It wasn't like, oh, you pulled the card, your soul gets sucked to another dimension, like that one. So we had that to kind of wild card up the game a bit. It didn't last long, because I think we ended up pulling up all the cards by the hatchery. So that was by chapter 3. So we go through that, and I kind of get into the game a little bit more, get into the vibe of the character, but I slowly get away from the voice, because the voice was getting annoying for me just to do, because I couldn't get, especially if you watch, I can't get English crossed. So we get to the hatchery, and this is where the game kind of shifts a bit and becomes a little less fun, but a little bit more crazy. So at the end of our first session, our artificer pulls a card. He gets the devil, and then he kind of eggs me on pulling a card from the deck, because I told him to pull 2, and he managed to pull a really good one and a really bad one. So it kind of balanced it out. Like I forget if he got a lot of gold, and then like the devil, but then I pulled death, and this made it stressful, because I never died in D&D as of that moment. Now I can say I've probably died once and been incapacitated above like 50 times. Because in 5th edition it is so easy to just get incapacitated and then revive back up. No character ever has permadeath in 5e. I'm saying that, and I believe it to be true. There are too many ways to bring characters back. And veterans are like, you goddamn right. It's too shallow. You need to kill players. Okay. Any which way. So I pulled death. We paused the game there. And I'm thinking, well, I can't defeat death. There's no way. There's nothing in my arsenal of spells that will help me. And hand-to-hand combat isn't my skill set. yes, I'm proficient in certain weapons and such because you can have it from your race or your background, which my background was an entertainer. No, it was an actor, so I can get a bonus on performance. That's what I did. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, the artificer's like, well, we'll just tag team them. So what ended up happening was literally, we come back, and we didn't know that if you attack my death, it will spawn another death, which is basically Grim Reaper. So it would just spawn another Grim Reaper for that particular character. So we had spawned 3 because 2 people jump in to help me. This was not good. The fighter and the artificer jump in, or was it the barbarian? So what ended up happening was our artificer wasn't going to be able to survive. I, unfortunately, insulted the crap out of Death so it would die. I just vicious mockery the whole time, and it worked. I don't know how, but it did damage. So, the artificer pulls last 3 cards from the deck. He ends up blowing up the stuff that he had, which was, he had the bag of holding, because we were putting everything in the bag of holding. It was a few scrolls and some gold and all that. I didn't really know at the moment, but when it blew up, the other 2 people, the fighter and the barbarian, were like, ah, shit, our stuff is gone. I'm like, okay, well, that's horrible. I guess we can try to get more stuff later, right? Right? No, the gold was in the bag too. Why? We weren't even doing incumbents, so it wasn't like, oh shit, I have like 50,000 gold in my pocket. I can't carry it. So what ended up happening was we were going into the hatchery with only 3 players. For some reason, we were supposed to have another one, but he couldn't make it. He was playing one of the new classes from Theros at the time, which was the Lion class as a paladin. He did show up and play, and I ended up, when Dimitri went away, I ended up playing him for the battle at the end at the moment. Every time I do these videos, I magically come up with the ability to just continuously sneeze on camera. So at least with my cell phone, I can just pause it real quick, do that stuff, and get back to recording these videos that no one's ever gonna watch. I don't know why I even do them. But anyways, so we go into the hatchery, and we managed to kill a couple of cultists, and I get the idea of, instead of just hacking and slashing our way through the hatchery, why don't we roleplay it up and do like disguises? Sadly, this doesn't work out as well as we hoped because of what happened at the end, but it was pretty funny and it worked out pretty well. Me being a Dragonborn kind of helped a little bit more, and my persuasion rolls and my acting rolls, like everything I had in my arsenal to play up that I was a Dragonborn cultist worked to my favor until we got to the boss of the Dragon Hatchery. So I just basically told the group, like, play it cool and we will get through this. But the barbarian was like, I want to eat, because he had low intelligence, I want to eat the eggs. I want an egg omelet. And I'm just like, no. Play it cool. We'll get the eggs. And then when we get out of here, we can, because I was training to be a chef. I had gotten a cookbook, but I had to put X amount of time into the cookbook to gain a skill. And it wouldn't be like, oh, well, I get proficiency in this. No, it was like, you know how to do this. I will let you roll a d20 to do it. So yeah, like I was learning how to do, I was like on the cart ride over, I was trying to learn how to roll, learn cooking, but then the artificer's like, hey, I pulled these. You pull one. I don't want to pull one. You pull one. No, I don't want to pull one. You pull one. I don't want to pull one. told me to pull. I pulled. You said to pull 2. And I pulled an additional one. You pull. I don't want to pull. Pull 1. Fine. Pull death. And then when we got out of the cart, death was just like right there. He ended up dying. And when he died, because he had the devil card, instead of his body being there, his character cannot be resurrected because the demon that wanted his I guess his soul, just took his body and dragged him into hell. So from beyond that point, later on, was always a joke that I thought I was going to die there, and he was going to live, but it turns out we both died during that session. So what ended up happening was, a running joke was, well, we'll just do Descent to Avernus. We'll go to hell and we'll try to save you in hell. So I don't think that's going to happen. Because we're in 2 books and we'd have to reset just to get through Avernus unless you bump up the CR. But that's impossible because once you hit 20, games get completely broken. So we go to the boss at the hatchery, which, without revealing so much, we kind of go do like search and clear kind of a thing when we're doing the disguises. We'd go through and go, oh, okay. There's a couple people here. Just stab, stab, stab. Okay, they don't know that we're enemies. Great. Keep moving. And that was kind of our approach the first time in. Keyword the first time in. I'm going to reset the camera real quick. Yeah, there we go. Reset it. Yeah. So, after we get through our first area, because we had we redid this one just for how bad it went, we bump into a half dragon, or it was like a really buff like dragonborn. I forget what they call it in the story because I haven't really read the story. I know only elements of it because I'm playing in 2 different versions of it. One being the one I want to experience with my group from Adventurers League at the game shop, and the other one is just playing casually with random people, which has its ups and downs, I guess. But we go, and it's a big buff guy, and I try to be like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and go, hey, what's up, man? What's up? Yo, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, yeah. And he's just like, bro, who the heck do you think you are? Leave me alone. I am stronger and better than you. You are a weakling. And I'm just like, oh, insulting. No. Oh, how dare you? I am actually here to be a new recruitee. Oh, you're the new recruitee, huh? Oh, okay. Well, why are you here at the hatchery? Why aren't you at the recruiting center? Oh, well, I was told by, who's that one guy? Said DM says name. Yeah, that one. And we played up the performance, and they played along until the barbarian, because he was a goblin, but I'll just say barbarian so the classes make it easier. I'm not revealing their names, nor the players' names, but yeah, he kind of like blows our cover, and I'm just like, dude, chill out, man, chill out. I got this. Please don't. And we immediately go into combat, and combat goes sideways to the point that we flee. We leave the hatchery, and they manage to get my body back to Waterdeep. And the kind of I forget how before they had said they got magic items. One of the main things they did was they did talk to Xanathar at Waterdeep. They worked with him on buying certain items off of us. So, like, for example, the dragon masks from the book, we would sell, get buku gold, which, there goes one of my goals to getting gold, sorry. So that was off the checklist, so all I had to do was basically, especially even at the end of the character's run, I had enough gold to just literally buy probably land and make a carnival site for my group of, you get the point when I get to the point of the story. So, they spend the time to resurrect me at the altar and all that. I come back, and I have kind of a flaw where I'm determined to do what I must to get done. So I don't seek vengeance for I don't seek vengeance for the artificer, even though it's my fault. I do, however, want to go get his soul. Okay, so I'm running out of more space in the camera, so I might just switch over to my DSLR for the remaining part of the story, but we're gonna pause this part of it and go directly to the DSLR, because basically the kind of like the first story arc was I come back, we are sitting in a tavern in Waterdeep. I have like an ice pack on my head and I feel completely beat and resurrected, and I'm just baffled at how bad that went. We berate the barbarian doesn't care, but we managed to get the artificer's player comes back as a deaf cleric and is an associate of Xanathar and wants to work with us on getting I would say exotic items, magical items from our travels. And we kind of agree, as long as she takes care of us, we'll take care of her. So I'm going to switch over to DSLR real quick, and we'll finish up as majority of the story.